Hi beautiful people, you're welcome back again to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can make this style displaying on the screen. You'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful gown displaying on my screen. If this is your first time seeing my video, you're welcome. Please make sure you watch to the end and don't skip any part of this video so that you won't miss any important details. Also watch till the end because I shared a very vital information at the end of this video. If this is your first time seeing my video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, I've gone ahead to mark out my basic lines from the shoulder to the chest line, from the shoulder to the bust point, from the shoulder to the under bust, and the half length. I've also marked her shoulder width, half of her shoulder width, the basic neckline of 3 by 3, that's 3 by width and 3 by depth. This is not the actual neckline, so I will go ahead and mark her round bust measurement. I'll place it on the chest line. I'll mark her round waist measurement and I'll add 1 inch for that intake. I'll connect it. I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slant and I'll connect it to the neck width. I will divide what I have here. I will get the midpoint. I'll come in by 0.75 and I will curve the armhole. On the bust point line, I will mark a nipple to nipple point measurement, which is 4 inches. I will rule a straight line to connect it. I'll divide the shoulder width by 2. I'll get the midpoint and I'll connect it straight to the bust point. After that, I will be tightening the under bust. So on the center front, I will measure 0.75. This side, I'll come out by 1.5 and I will glue that leg straight down. For this side, I will be coming out by 1 inch to rule that leg down. This is because my client have a big tummy, so on the bust point now I'll come down by 1 inch to curve the cup. I also came up by 1 inch so that I can curve the cup very well. You curve it the way you see me doing. So from the under bust, I'll be coming up by 7.5 inches. This is how much I want the cup to cover. That's the bustier cup to cover. So from the under bust, I came up by 7.5 inches and I will a straight line to indicate it. This 7.5 inches is the over bust line. So on the over bust line, I'll be tightening it with half inch on the both that line and I will curve it to the 1 inch I came up from the under bust, the way you see me doing. I use half inches for the over bust tightening, so if I measure it, I have 1 inch. I'll be sharing it into 2. So if I divide the 1 inch, I have half inch, so the half inch will go to the armhole while the other half inch will go to the yoke. I want to tighten the yoke so that the yoke can relax very well on my client body. So the half inch that is left, I will divide it into 2, that is 0.25 on the both that line, and I will slant it the way you see me doing it. I want the yoke to be well fitted on the body. So from the shoulder slant, I'll be coming down by 6.5 inches. If you check the picture I attached on the screen, you observe that the center part is high. That's why I came down by 6.5 inches and I'll curve it to that leg the way you see me doing. From the 6.5 inches, I will reconnect the armhole the way you see me doing. So the next thing now is to mark my neck width. The actual neck width I use is 5 inches and the neck depth is 4.5 inches. So I will curve the round neckline. It's like a canoe neck. The neckline is wide, so that's why I took 5 inches for the neck width. If you're a bigger person, you can make use of 5.5. Before I cut out the dot lines, I'll be duplicating this pattern. This is because of the yoke placement on the center, so I'll use this fresh pattern to cut out the exact thing I have here. I will cut it off camera and come back and show you the next thing to do. So I've gone ahead to cut it out. Can you see what I have? The next thing is to measure the length where I want the yoke to stop. So I want it to stop at the under bust. Under bust is 14.5. So I'll mark it. If you want the yoke to enter inside the waistband like the one on the thumbnail, you can add 1 inch to your under bust. So I will measure what I have here. I will place it on the duplicated pattern, that is 6.5. On 1 inch above that line, I'll be measuring how wide I want the yoke to be. So I will mark 2 inches. Don't forget that my pattern is on a single piece. So that 2 inches is 4 inches if you put it on fold. So on the neck width, I will mark 1.5 inches and I will draw the shape that I want. The shape of the yoke is like Y. Can you see what I'm doing? Just fix your eyes on the screen. You understand what I'm doing. So I will slant it to the under bust the way you see me doing. I'll be placing another fabric on the armhole side, so you can leave a space of ½ inch. When I'm sewing it, I'll be showing you how you can go about that. So this armhole side, I can make it 1.5 inches also, or 2 inches. So I'll be explaining more when I'm sewing it. This is my 2 inches here. You can make it 2.5 inches if you want it to be wider than mine, but the one on the thumbnail is 2 inches. So can you see what I have? I'll be cutting it out on my fabric later. You can now go ahead and cut out the dart lines and the yoke. For the yoke, I'll be slashing it open and I will close it up with my masking tape the way you see me doing. Just match it together this way and use your masking tape to tape it down. Next thing is to cut out the back part. So I've gone ahead to mark out my line, the same thing I did on the front part, and I've also taken my body measurement. I mark 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So for the neck width, I also take 5 inches for the width and 9 inches for the depth, and I will curve the V neckline. The back part is a form of a V. After that, I will come down by ½ inch for back shoulder slant, and I will slant it the way you see me doing. I'll divide the chest line by 2. I'll come in by ½ inch. For the front, I came in by 0.75. So I'll curve my armhole the way you see me doing. After that, I will take the dart line to the bust point. On the dart line, I will be taking ½ inch. So when I was taking my round waist measurement, I replaced the 1 inch. So I'll mark ½ inch here, ½ inch here. That's 1 inch. So I'll come down by ½ inch and I will slant the dart line the way you see me doing. After that, I will remove ½ inch for zipper bulge, so that if I fix my zipper, it will relax very well on the back. So remember to take it out. Can you see the way I'm slanting it? So I'll go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it out, I will transfer all my pattern to the fabric. For the first yoke, I'll be using this original skin net. So I'll use it to cut out the yoke. I've already cut out the bustier. I added ½ inch on the center front, 2 inches on the side seam allowance, ½ inch on the armhole area, and then on the waistline. For the center part, you also add your sewing allowance of ½ inch. So for the yoke, you put your skin net on fold and place your pattern. Can you see that it's on fold? Added ½ inch round for sewing allowance. I've also gone ahead to cut out my back parts. I cut my lining for the front and back. Make sure you notch your dart leg on the fabric and on the lining, and your zipper allowance. For the lower part, I'll be working with this already cut out skirt pattern. I have my front and the back here. If you don't know how to cut a skirt pattern, I have a tutorial on that. You can use any skirt pattern of your choice. You can use any method to cut your airline skirt. So I'll go ahead and fold my fabric into 2.
I will put my pattern on it. I'll be cutting the front part first, so I'll use my pin to secure it. After that, I will measure what I have here. I'll be using 10 inches for the flare. Depending on how full you want it, you can increase or reduce it. On the waistline, I'll add ½ inch for joining. On the side, I'll add 1.5 inches for side seam sewing allowance. So on the knee, I'll rule it out this way, and I will slant it out to cut my A line the way you see me doing.
To determine the full length of the gown, I'll place her half length on the waistline. From her shoulder to her waistline is 16.5, so I'll place it and mark her full length. After that, I'll cut it out. Cutting it out, I will measure what I have from the knee line to the hem of the gown. I have 27 inches. I'll write it down. As this video progresses, you understand the reason for that. So the next thing now is to cut the back part. I've already folded my fabric and I place my back pattern on the folded fabric. So I make sure I have like 9 inches on the zipper allowance side. I want the back part to have a little cut together tail. That's why I left the 9 inches on the zipper allowance side. So I will add 1 inch for zip allowance. So on the lee line, I'll be coming up by 2.5 inches for the mammoth tail. So on that 2.5 inches, I will flay it out the way you see me doing. On the sidebar, I'll also add 1.5 inches for side seam allowance. If I get to the knee, I will now bring my front part. This 27 inches, I will measure it the way you see me doing. So I will keep my tape this way to get the 27 inches for the flay. After that, I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll go off camera and cut it out and come back and show you the next thing to do. After cutting it out, I will place the front and back this way. I want to curve the side hem, so I will keep it together like this, and I'll come up by 1.5 inches for this both side front and side back. After that, I'll go ahead and trim it out. I will also repeat the same thing on the center back. I'll come up by 1.5 inches and I will trim it out the way you see me doing. This is to curve the hem so that it won't have that sharp point. The next thing is to work on the front slit. So from the waistline, I will measure down my above knee measurements. I used 19 inches for her above knee, and her actual knee measurement is 21. So I want the slit to start 1 inch below her actual knee measurement, which is 22 inches. She says she don't want the slit to be high like the one on the thumbnail. If you want it to be high like the one on the thumbnail, you can go ahead and use 19 inches. 19 inches is good for an average person. If you are very tall, you can use 20 inches. That's if you want it to be high like the one on the thumbnail. For the center front design, I'll be measuring 4.5 inches on the hemline. So I'll mark 4.5 inches. From the hemline, I'll be slanting it to the above knee measurement. So where the slit will start, I will measure 1.5 inches and I will slant it the way you see me doing. Just fix your eyes on the screen, you'll understand what I'm doing. So I'll be reducing the 1.5 inches to 1 inch. I will cancel this line now. Just make use of 1 inch so that it won't be too wide. If you don't want to add sewing allowance on the pattern, you can write add sewing allowance so that you won't forget. For me, I'll be adding my sewing allowance on the paper. So I will add my 1/2 inch sewing allowance the way you see me doing. If I get to the pointed edge, I will make it like square of 1/2 inch. Can you see what I'm doing there? Make sure that this square here is 1/2 inch, so that if you fold half here and half here, it will still have that pointed edge. All right, so the next thing now is to cut it out. After cutting it out, I will place it on my fabric and cut exactly what I have here. But before that, you can slash your center front open. Just pin the pattern on the fabric. You measure the length of the slit opening, you now slash it open. For me, I have an easy method to achieve that, so I'll be teaching you all that when I'm sewing it. So I've already cut out my lining. This is what I have for my lining. I'll be reducing it by 1 inch. So my client told me to use a sequence for the yoke and the design on the skirt. For the one on the thumbnail, the original creator of this dress used satin for the design and placed small stones on it. For me, I got this bell sequence for her. It's very light. This is not your regular sequence, so when you want to use sequence, look for the light one. So I'll place my fabric into two and place this paper on it to cut out the design on the lower part. So I've already cut it out. After cutting it out, I will notch where my slit opening will start. We notch it on the fabric to indicate. After notching it, I will also notch the middle of the down part, the folded part, notch the center of the main fabric also. I've finished sewing this dress, but I divided this tutorial into two because the video was getting too long. This is the outcome of what I made for my client. I changed the sleeve part because she wanted a different thing, so I'll be making this style for myself and I will be doubling the sleeve. If you want to learn how to do that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that if I post this sewing tutorial, you get notified. Thanks for watching. Bye.